So with no objections, we'll begin. You don't mind if I take the mask off, do you? It may help me, everybody understand me better. Welcome to the Happy New Year, and welcome to the January meeting of the Ulster County Transportation Council's technical meeting. Why don't we call to order and welcome and introductions. I'll introduce UCTC staff. Brian Slack is here, Principal Transportation Planner for UCTC, and also currently the appointed
Coordinator of Traffic Safety.
Of the Traffic Safety Board. Dave Stoss, Senior Transportation Planner with the office. We're working on an appointment for David yet. We still haven't found something. We call him soon to be father, I think is what we call him. How's that? And Dennis Doyle, Planning Director. Why don't we start? Why don't we start? Brian, why don't you call them off? They're on the screen and they can ask them to introduce themselves.
Or David, can you just run through?
Of course, yeah, I'd be happy to run through everyone that we have on the line here. We have Vernon Benjamin, Anthony Mignon, Ed Pine, Andrew Emmerich, Chris Kate, Chris Hannett, Diane Beidel, Greg Krupp, John Volk, Lizzie Phillip, Martin Hall, Mike Baden, and Amy McKenzie. Did I miss anyone on the line there? Great.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Call for citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments? Hearing none. Any comments or from council members? Okay. Approval of this September 28th, 2021 Technical Committee meeting summary. Do I have a motion for discussion purposes, please?
So moved.
So moved, Mike Baden.
Thank you. And who was the second on that?
Vernon.
Thank you, Vernon. I have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. We'll move on. Communications and announcements, Brian?
Yeah, I just have a couple brief announcements. We received word on Friday that New York State Department of Transportation will be issuing its call for proposals for the FTA Section 5310 program. This is a program to provide buses, rolling stock, as well as operation services to elderly and disabled populations. We in Ulster County organizations have used these funds, RUPCO, Ulster County Area Transit,
ARC.
the ARC, the Office for the Aging have used these grants in the past to provide services for their clients. We don't have guidance at this point in time. The call has not been issued, but it will be issued, I believe, by the end of this week, at which point UCTC will forward the application materials to all of our members. And if you have questions, you can submit them directly to me regarding the application process, bearing in mind that I probably have the same questions, but I might be able to get to them a little faster than members. So please be on the lookout for that. Do we want to, the only other update I was thinking was
TMA?
not the TMA, but regarding the RFP for our private transit providers, but we don't have finalization on that at this point in time. We did participate this past fall in reviewing applications for the transit contract for the Mid-Hudson region. That would be the private carrier contract. New York State DOT issued a RFP to provide the services all the way from the capital region through Mid-Hudson to the metro region. In the past, that's been provided by Adirondack Transit Lines. So I participated on that review committee. It was a statewide committee, and we're awaiting further instructions from New York State DOT on that process. It is a procurement process, so we can't provide detailed comment at this time until a provider is selected.
So, and the other thing that I want to just let everyone know is we did meet as a TMA. And those are the three counties, Dutchess County, Orange County, and Ulster County, to discuss a number of things. One is to make sure that our UPWPs were synced. The other issues that we discussed was the tricentennial review by New York State, by the Federal High Administration and FTA. And last but not least, we just also discussed some of the transit funding that's coming into the region. Members should be aware that there's a considerable amount of transit funding that have been allocated both through the Jobs Act or the we can't call it bill, right?
Right, yeah.
But
IIJA.
the Investment in Infrastructure Jobs Act, and then also with respect to the American Recovery Funds. We will probably be looking at, we normally get somewhere in the neighborhood of around $20 to $21 million between the three counties and MTA for transit funding. We'll probably be getting at least $18 to $20 million more, so almost double our current funding source. So that was a major discussion in terms of how that funding should be utilized. And we'll be back to the council. There's a number of discussions ongoing with regard to that. We do have a methodology to essentially divide up the funding that we currently have. It's a real question of what are we going to do with the additional funding. I will say to you that Ulster County has a substantial amount of capital needs with respect to its transportation system. We have a need to erect a bus storage facility. We're currently over 50% of our fleet is stored outside. And as we move towards electrification, we have to move those buses inside. The council did a study on the feasibility of various locations for that facility, and we have a cost estimate in the mid-teens in terms of millions of dollars, somewhere between $15 and $20 million for that facility to be added. So we do have a substantial amount of capital needs. The other thing I wanted to let you know on the transit side is that we had been working with VIA, which is a microtransit operator and software producer. And there was an announcement of funding from NYSERDA that the county was not eligible for, but private carriers were. And we've worked with VIA to essentially look at microtransit in two areas. One is in Ellenville, and the other one was in the city of Kingston. And I think we put together a strong application with NYSERDA, and but VIA was awarded the funding to essentially begin the study process for microtransit in those two communities, and we're going to be working with them. So those folks from Ellenville and Kingston that are involved, be aware of the fact that there's going to be work being done on microtransit, and there'll be public outreach for that. The good news is that we got funded, and now the next hurdle is there is about a $7 million pot at the end of this if you come back with your study to actually implement the study recommendations. So that could be pilot projects, it could be bus purchases, it could be turnkey operations. As we go through the study, that'll become more apparent. VIA is a nationally recognized transit and software provider, and just be aware that that's out there and that work's going to start.
I think Vernon had his hand raised. Did you have a question?
Yes, well, I understand that the bus facility is really in need of replacement, that there are some drawbacks about it that are pretty serious, particularly about parking buses for being worked on and that. So I just wanted to point out that that's an essential problem that I hope we can move on fairly quickly.
Thanks, Vernon. It's actually an expansion. We have a fleet of around 32 buses, and we can't get anywhere near that in the existing facility. And it really becomes critical. You can store some of these buses outside when they're gas and diesel powered. As they move to electric, you really got to put them under some sort of shelter. And we also have to take a look in terms of the existing facility and make some changes in there. One to meet ADA requirements, and the other one is to make sure that the facility can handle the electrification. I would say that we have the 3 electric buses in. The charging stations are in for those 3 electric buses. They're currently going through some testing, and they should be on the road shortly.
Thank you.
That's all for me.
Any other communications and announcements from members before we move on?
Okay, new business. Item A, UCTC Resolution 2022-01, approval of the UCTC State Fiscal Year 2022 Unified Planning Work Program. Yep. Can I get a motion for discussion purposes? I know Brian has a brief presentation.
So moved, Mike Baden.
Thank you, Mike. Do I have a second?
Second, Greg Krupp.
Thank Greg. So I have a motion. Second, Brian, go through that presentation for us. Thank you.
Sure. And Dave, if you wouldn't mind bringing that up. Thank you, sir. So good morning, everyone. Here is the draft UCTC State Fiscal Year 2022 UPWP annual presentation. For those of you who have been with us for a while, you're probably familiar with this presentation. We give it every year around this time. And we'll provide a brief overview of the purpose of the UPWP and its contents during proposed contents for the next state fiscal year. So to jump right into it, the purpose of a unified plan and work program is to plan and implement a transportation program supporting the goals, objectives, and recommendations of our long-range transportation plan. It is the core summary of all administrative, technical, and transportation planning tasks to be performed by UCTC staff or our consultants within the state fiscal year. Perhaps a better description might be it's our annual work plan or our budget as well. It's all the activities that the Transportation Council will be working on during the next state fiscal year. Next slide, please. I like to provide members with just a tracking of our allocation history. As a brief reminder, the UCTC receives 2 separate planning grants from the U.S. Department of Transportation. On the Federal Highway Administration side, we receive an annual grant of what we refer to as PL funds, which I believe is an abbreviation, planning funds. And here's our allocation history going back to 2018. You'll note that for state fiscal year 2022, there's a significant increase from the previous year-to-year funding allocation. That's about an 18% increase from 2021. And that is reflective of the IIJA Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the bipartisan transportation bill that was passed, and the increase in funding that has been provided through that new piece of legislation. We don't see the similar increase on the FTA side. Our FTA allocations have been relatively smaller in comparison year over year, but there is a slight increase in our FTA. It's called Section 5303 funds. These are planning funds. They can only be used for planning purposes and cannot be used for engineering or construction purposes. Hence, it's called the Unified Planning Work Program. Next slide, please, Dave. Thanks. So there's a multi-step process that David, Dennis, and I go through every year in order to determine what our annual program is going to look like. We keep a year-to-year tracking of all of our expenditures and allocations going back to the very beginning of the Transportation Council. This is the actual chart that's taken from our Excel workbook that shows our annual. If you look in the second column, that is the allocation. Sometimes there are adjustments being made by the state. And then the second column from the right shows the expenditures that year. And then the savings is in the far right column. Sometimes we spend more, sometimes we don't spend all of it. Overall, we get a savings that's accumulated. So this year we calculate, and this is an estimate because we have not closed the books on this current state fiscal year, but we are estimating a savings this year of over $768,000. Combined with our annual allocation, we are estimating a total funding of PL funds of $1.2 million, just over. Next slide. We do the same thing for our FTA grants, and this is showing our year-to-year drawdown and expenditures of our FTA grants. These are utilized just a little differently in that the process for accounting is first in, first out. So you have to close the oldest state fiscal year or grant before you open a new one. And it shows, again, savings, including this year's allocation of about $200,000 in FTA 5303 funds. All funds are required to have a 5% local match, as well as a state match, which is provided in the form of toll credits through the New York State Department of Transportation. So that's the overview of our budget and the amount of money that's available. The project categories for the UPWP are dictated to us by the U.S. Department of Transportation in consultation with the state departments of transportation. So we await guidance from our state DOT, and they give us all the various categories that we're supposed to then program our annual project under. And these categories have not really changed very much over the course of the past 10 to 20 years. They are always essentially these main core areas. Program support and administration is self-explanatory. It's all the admin activities that we're doing. General development and comprehensive planning, long-range transportation planning, short-range transportation planning, the TIP, Transportation Improvement Program, and then there's the catch-all other category. These days, all of our FTA projects are categorized under the other category at the end of the program, if you get into the document. Next slide, please. So I'm going to talk about how we developed the draft program this year and all the projects that are in it. I'm not going to go through every single project in detail, but I'm going to just sort of hit on some of the highlights. We do an annual call for projects every year. We usually issue that in the fall, and that gives UCTC members to propose a planning project, typically that revolves around an issue of concern, a transportation issue of concern. During this annual call, we received one proposal from the town of Woodstock, which was a well-written proposal regarding a request to do a feasibility study on the Route 212 corridor, State Route 212, to investigate the feasibility of creating a pedestrian bike corridor along that state route from Bearsville through to the town center and then out of town to points east and south. And we'll talk more about how we're addressing that proposal in just a few moments. Next slide. To give a brief overview of some progress that we've made during this current state fiscal year that we're in, the last quarter of, we have several completed contracts that we closed during the state fiscal year. The UCAT site selection and feasibility study, that was something that Dennis referred to earlier. We hired Passero Associates to give us identify potential sites for an expanded UCAT garage, and then give us some schematics on what needs that garage, that physical structure should incorporate. And that is available online. We closed the 2045 LRTP update. We had one open contract to complete the graphic design elements of that project. That was closed during the state fiscal year. We conducted the UND corridor plan in the Shandaken section of the Catskill Park, which looked at the feasibility of converting a portion of the UND corridor from a closed railroad to a rail trail that would run from Bel Air down to Big Indian. Thank you. And that study allowed us to prepare an application to the New York State DOT Transportation Alternatives Program for a phase 1 implementation. And David completed the Ulster County Road Safety Action Plan, which is sometimes referred to as our crash analysis, which has received quite a bit of discussion during a number of UCTC meetings. Those are our completed projects from this current state fiscal year. Next slide. Thanks, Dave. We currently have one project under contract working with a consultant. It's the Transportation Vulnerability Assessment, our Transportation Resiliency Study. We're about 25% through that project. We've been doing quite a bit of data analysis and data assessment, data gathering. There haven't been too many exciting things to report as of yet. I don't even have much information. I don't think I have any information on the website yet. But within the next several weeks, we should be able to unveil some mapping components and at least some preliminary data inventory that we can begin to present to the public that shows all the various transportation assets, the roads, the bridges, the railroads, things of that nature that we'll be inventorying, and then also the hazards that we'll be assessing those assets against. So that information will be forthcoming. And we expect to complete that project during state fiscal year 2022. And then we have quite a few projects that are in the docket, so to speak, on deck. Town of Ulster Route 9W Corridor Management Plan, that RFP has been issued. We have received 4 responses, and we will have an advisory committee reviewing those proposals soon. So we would expect to start the corridor management plan probably in April or May of this year. And that's going to look at largely the commercial corridor in the town of Ulster on Route 9W. We also are on the verge of issuing an RFP for a City of Kingston Railroad Safety Plan. We've discussed this quite often and at length. The scope of work is nearly complete. We need to just wrap that up, put it into an RFP and issue it. We expect to issue it probably by the end of this month, which I think is this week, so maybe early February. And that should go through the typical RFP process, and we would hope to have that project started in spring of 2022. As Dennis mentioned, we are participating on the NYSERDA Clean Neighborhoods Micromobility Award. This award has been issued to VIA, which is a national transit software provider, and they do provide transit services as well. So we're a partner in that process. We will be contributing staff time to that process, but we're not the lead. So we're not going to be contributing a significant amount of planning funds to the project, but we will contribute staff time and effort to guide that effort. We have a number of new or expanded projects that we're adding this year. I've just, you can look up the detailed project description in the UPWP document under these task codes. Ulster Transportation Safety Board support, as Dennis mentioned, the county executive has appointed me as the new traffic safety coordinator, taking over the role from Diane Vital, and we're happy to note that Diane is still very much a partner on the Traffic Safety Board, and we have her support. And so we're going to provide the coordinating role for that board throughout the year as we go forward. And I anticipate providing somewhere in the vicinity of 10 to 20 hours a month in providing that coordinating support. We've provided a new task for electric vehicle planning. This is not a scope of work, a detailed scope of work has not been developed at this point in time, but we envision this as a task to provide either staff or consultant support to municipalities that are interested in inventorying or expanding their capabilities for providing electric vehicle support for essentially charging facilities and other infrastructure.
We may see some development of some model local statutes
Right.
according to this, with this document.
The next new task is complete streets planning. This is a broad, again, it's a similar to EV planning in that we envision we would be able to provide support to interested municipalities through the assistance of a consultant to do complete streets planning within municipalities. We feel that this will capture the proposal from the town of Woodstock and also hopefully address some other needs that have been raised by other municipalities regarding the need to plan for complete streets initiatives. These are streets that will address all the users of the transportation network, not just motorized vehicles, but transit users, pedestrians, and bicyclists. The scope of work, again, has not been developed, but we would hopefully identify potential projects and go through feasibility studies in municipalities to identify potential projects for future implementation. These could be anything from safe routes to school projects, sidewalk improvement projects, other pedestrian or cyclist safety projects.
Yeah, we would intend to focus this on the activity centers within the county, be they villages or hamlets. That's where the focus would be on this.
Right. So when we're ready, we can prepare a more detailed scope of work, but we would anticipate that municipalities could apply to receive this assistance, and we would have an application process for that. Safety education support, we have had a standing task code to provide financial support for safety education and outreach regarding crash reduction and serious injury and fatality reduction on our transportation network. We've added additional funds to that task code to continue to support that as a worthy endeavor arises. And we added significant funds to the Coordinated Human Services Plan. That update is, that plan is required to be updated every 5 years. And the update is due, I believe, in 2023. So we have the funding put there to support that update as needed. I don't believe we dropped any significant projects from the program. So if there are other projects that your municipality may have been interested in and that have been programmed in the past, I believe all of those projects have been carried through to the proposed state next state fiscal year
So,
program.
Before we move on, does anybody have any questions from the council? Okay.
So all said and done, this is table 1 in the appendix. Again, these are draft numbers and will continue to be draft, and Dennis and I will continue to review them. The top section of the table shows how our federal FHWA funds are being utilized. We'll have our grant of $469,246,000. We anticipate programming from our savings for just over $486,000. And that gives us a total FHWA federal program budget of just over $955,000. So we will have a remaining unprogrammed balance of $282,000 on the FHWA side. These are excluding all necessary matches. I'm just focusing on the federal aid side. And then below that, for our FTA funds, we have our allocation of $59,000. We will be programming carryover funds of $140,000 for a total FTA budget proposed of $115,000. So we will have a carryover balance savings of just over $85,000.
So just quickly, a couple things. One is that carryover balances for transportation councils are not unusual nor unexpected. So if we go around the state and look at the carryover balances that are available statewide, we're on the lower end of a carryover balance. And we continue to have a discussion with our federal and state partners about this carryover balance. Some of that has to do with the fact that in the past, we were very much concerned about whether or not we'd actually have a federal budget. And we needed to be able to carry staff and activities through for a year while may have been some disruption in federal funding. The other is that it has to do with capacity at the planning department level in terms of ability to manage and program these funds as well. So that's why the carryover balance is there. It is a fairly aggressive schedule and budget for the 2022 season that's out there.
Next slide, David. So I fully understand this is difficult to read, but I did want to make you aware of this table. It is on the very last page of the draft UPWP document. I'll show the URL in just a moment, but it is a full summary of all the projects, all the individual task lines that are included in this year's UPWP. And I may clean this up so it's a little easier on the eyes in the final document. But I think it's a good quick reference that shows how, that shows what projects are programmed, what the budget for each project is, and how we arrive at the full and total program at the end of the day. Next slide. So to talk about the process for commenting and moving forward, comments on this draft program will be accepted from the technical committee now through the end of the 15-day public comment period. David and I will issue, the UPWP is required to go through a 15-day public review and comment period. We will issue that press release next week, and which will make the deadline for public comments February 18th. And then the UCTC Policy Committee is required to approve the final UPWP, and that meeting is scheduled for February 22nd.
The state has asked us to essentially be able to present approved UPWP at the local level by the 1st of March. It then has to go through review at the state level and finally be approved at the federal level. I would also say that what Brian didn't mention is that some of the things that influence what's in the UPWP is we're trying to make sure that we meet and implement the recommendations and concerns that were addressed in our long-range transportation plan. So we're not just making projects up, or we're not just responding to local concerns, we're also responding to the fact that the council has adopted and put forward a long-range transportation plan. And we have to basically make sure that we begin to implement that. And one of the ways to do that is to do the necessary studies in accordance with those recommendations.
I should also note, we sent out the packet, the agenda packets last week, and that included reference to a first draft of the Unified Planning Work Program. We provided a second draft on the website yesterday. That is what I presented here. And that is what all the budget figures that have been presented in this presentation are the same as in the second version of the second draft of the UPWP. So that is now online.
So that's a lot to take in a very short period of time. Does any of the council members have any concerns, comments, discussion, etc.? And I'll give you some time to think about it. Does council comfortable? I have a motion on the floor in a second. The council is comfortable. I'll move on. Going once. Okay. Any opposed to the draft UPWP? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. So carried. Item B on the agenda. UCTC Resolution 2022-2. It's amendment to the UCTC Federal Fiscal Year 2020-2024 Transportation Improvement Program, TIP, to add a new Town of Rochester Bridge, New York PIN. We don't have that number yet, as shown in attachment 1. Do I have a I have a motion for discussion purposes, please? Mr. Baden,
Dennis, Mike Baden, I very happily will make this motion.
thank you very much, Mr. Baden. Do I have a second?
Second, Greg Kropp.
Thank you, Greg. I have a motion and a second discussion.
Sure, this is a late submission from the UPWP. We received the final initial project proposal, the IPP from New York State DOT late yesterday afternoon. So we do have a PIN, and I apologize for not providing that information sooner, but we do have it now. So the PIN is going to be 876264. And David, if you let's see, can you put the there it is, great, thank you. So this is the draft tip strip that David prepared probably about 30 minutes ago. And it shows the project description: replacement of Boyce Mill Road Bridge over Falls Mill Brook with a bin in the town of Rochester. Town of Rochester applied for a Bridge New York funding and was awarded that funding. I believe this is a 95-5 federal local split for the project. The total project cost is $2.1 million for the design and construction of the Boyce Mill Road Bridge.
This has to go through a public comment period, right?
Yes, this is, thank you, Dennis. This is a new addition to the Transportation Improvement Program. Any addition or deletion to our TIP requires a full amendment. Therefore, this project, after technical committee approval, will require a 15-day public comment period prior to UCTC Policy Board review and approval.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So carried. Thank you.
And thank you to NISDOT staff, local projects unit, for, I think we were probably the first MPO to receive an IPP, and they got it out to us as quickly as they could.
Thank you. Other old business, new members?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna jump around just a little bit since we're
Okay.
on the topic of off-system bridge funding. As we've indicated in the past, UCTC has block programs. It's essentially savings, unallocated federal aid, utilizing what's called the off-system bridge program. Those are federal funds for bridges off the national highway system. Initially, those funds were going to be awarded to the town of Rochester for this bridge project, but the town was wise to also apply to Bridge New York. Since they have received a better deal essentially through Bridge New York, those funds are available to the runner-up, and that is Ulster County Department of Public Works. I don't have the bridge details in front of me, so please forgive me. It's a bridge out
Scudder.
in Denning.
Yeah, it's a ways away, as they say.
Yeah, so those funds will be made available to Ulster County DPW. There were no other applicants. It remains to be seen. The funds are in federal fiscal year 23. We cannot move them any earlier. So the soonest that project could begin would be October of 2022, when the next federal fiscal year begins. We will, in light of that, probably just roll it up through the TIP update, which is forthcoming. We'll be doing a full update of the Transportation Improvement Program this spring. But I didn't want to make members aware that those funds are being moved forward to use by members.
Well, one of the things that, go ahead.
No, that's it.
So one of the things with respect to off-system bridges is the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act may result in additional monies being made available for off-system bridges. There is specific funding within the act for those things to occur. I would strongly suggest that municipalities that have bridges that are yellow or red flag really take a good hard look at them and begin to have a conversation in terms of whether or not they should apply for funding. It's not clear whether that money is going to be kept by the state of New York and then become a competition in terms of the Bridge New York funding, which uses which uses off-system bridges, or whether it will be made available to the MPOs to essentially program off-system bridges. I will tell you that other MPOs are have requested that the state make sure that some of that money becomes available to local MPOs for programming purposes. So I know Warsing has a bridge that's in some dire straits. I would ask them to make sure that they pay attention, and other communities. There's a lot of communities in Ulster County that have own local bridges and their off-system bridges to make sure that they have a good handle on them, and if they're flagged in one way or another, what needs to be done in terms to fix them.
We also received indication that under the new Transportation Authorization Act, off-system bridge funding will not require a local match.
100%.
100% federal aid, which should come as a relief to a lot of our local towns.
So just be aware of that and keep that in mind. I also just want to, I'm on the IAJ, just to understand, there's been a number of presentations by the state with respect to the funding. And I guess the simplest way to put this is I think that NISDOT is doing its best to tamper expectations with respect to how much money is going to be made available. Although there is going to be a significant amount of new funding available, how much that will get down to the kinds of projects that we do versus the transformative projects such as Orange County's interstate system changes down there, or some of the major bridges, is still of some concern to us. We are waiting to see and have made requests back through the central office to see the state capital program. The state has worked on a capital program. We're told that they're still working on it. We would like to see the NISDOT's capital program and how it affects Ulster County and the region. We're still waiting to see that, just still waiting to complete it. There was a completion at the state level of a final budget for transportation out there. And if anybody has a chance, please take a good hard look at the state of the state message from Governor Hochul. There's quite a number of really interesting things on the transit side and on the transportation side, as well as on the housing side and the investment in housing. So I know it sounds like a boring read, but it actually isn't. It's actually quite a good document, and communities would do well to take a real good hard look at it because there's some initiatives in there that could really help some of the communities within Ulster County.
Since we're on the topic of the Transportation Improvement Program, I'm just going to jump down to the TIP update. As we've been indicating to members, a update to the Transportation Improvement Program and the statewide STIP is imminent. We are awaiting guidance and essentially awaiting a green light. We being all the MPOs, all 14 MPOs across New York State. That guidance is anticipated to arrive in February, at which point UCTC will form a subcommittee of the technical committee, and we will begin our own review of the existing TIP and against available allocations, essentially what is referred to as a funding target. And as Dennis indicated, we don't know what our target is going to be. It's been held flat for the past several TIP updates cycles. Even if there is this increase to our targets, we don't know if we'll be able to utilize those for a call for projects, but we will certainly keep our members informed and involved in that process and be seeking volunteers.
And members that are short money in existing projects, now is the time to update your engineering estimates and look at how we can find more money for those projects that you're short funding on. Some exceptions to that are funding that have been done through TAP and TIP or TEP, as they're held at flat.
Thank you.
Anything else, Brian?
I just want to briefly welcome some new members. Town of Esopus, Town of Marlborough, Town of Hurley all have new town supervisors. I don't believe any of them were able to attend today's meeting. But I have indicated, we've reached out to them to appoint and update their proxies and let them know about our meeting cycles. I anticipate offering a brief webinar training to new members to give an overview of the purpose and function of the UCTC. And I will make that open to all members. If you have proxies that may be newly appointed, or you just want to learn a little more about the MPO process, you are more than welcome to attend. So that is something that will be forthcoming in the weeks ahead. But welcome to our new voting members. Then finally, briefly, I want to make members aware of the UCTC Federal Fiscal Year 2021 Obligation Report. Dave, if you could bring that up through the screen share, and I'll just give a brief introduction. NPOs are required to provide a listing of all federal aid obligations that occurred in the previous federal fiscal year, and within several months of the closure of that fiscal year. So every year, the UCTC publishes this document, the annual obligation report. This is draft. David and I started working on it last week. And we're still trying to verify and finalize some of the numbers. But the main document here is the three tables in the end of the document. We break it up into three different categories. Federal aid obligations for state projects, which are shown here. Local projects, which would be all of our locally sponsored federal aid projects on the tip. And then transit projects, which is the third table. It's the third table that is still undergoing revision at this point in time, and we're working closely with UCAT to verify these numbers. So if you could go back to the state projects, David. New York State DOT does a report. Essentially, it's just an output through our software system that indicated that 21.9 million in federal aid was obligated in Ulster County alone through state projects. And these are the various state projects and project phases where those funds were obligated. Remember, obligation does not necessarily mean fully spent. It just means they're authorized to utilize those funds through that project phase. This is now the local projects, which shows we had just over $7 million in local federal aid transportation projects of funding that was obligated. You'll notice there might be some negative integers on some of these projects. These are accounting quirks, for lack of a better explanation. The funds are anticipated to be obligated, but then they're not obligated. So you see some negative integers there. We haven't really decided on a clear method for providing those figures and being transparent, so that they still are included on the document.
You just crossed over on that. Maybe just be.
Yeah, there are a variety of explanations from local projects unit as to why those negative integers are shown. And then our transit obligations. This shows a full accounting of all the proposed obligations as listed on the tip. And again, I just need to verify these obligations with our transit provider, Ulster County Area Transit. We had just over $7 million in federal aid proposed for obligation in federal fiscal year 21. So again, it's a very significant investment. Behind these obligations are purchases and jobs and improvements to the transportation system. So it's a pretty significant amount of funding being made available to Ulster County for transportation.
So there's no council action required?
No council action is required. It's simply a reporting mechanism. As soon as we are able to verify and finalize these numbers, this document will be posted on the tip page of the UCTC website.
And I will tell you that the federal government pays a significant amount of attention to the projects that are on the tip and when that funding is obligated. They're tracking very much so tracking the ability of local governments to meet their to spend their funding allocation in a timely manner. And I believe that they're looking at least a 70% obligation of funds that are obligated on an unamended tip to make sure that the communities and the state can meet its obligations and spend the federal funding that it's given. Anything else, Brian?
Just one other, I guess, announcement and clarification. The Ulster County Traffic Safety Board has reconvened and is meeting on a regular basis. We do have a web page set up through the Ulster County government website. If you just search by departments, Traffic Safety Board is listed up there. And our meeting information is published on that web page. The safety board typically meets.
Dave, can you take that down, please? I'm sorry to interrupt, Brian.
Yeah. The TSB typically meets the first Monday of every month. I don't think we'll be having a February meeting, but we will be having a March meeting. So I would urge members and their constituents, if they have a traffic safety concern, to participate in the Traffic Safety Board. We're rebuilding our membership. We have local law enforcement, public advocacy, and other interested citizens are appointed members of the board. There are 3 vacancies pending appointments at this time. And we hope to begin to develop a list of goals for the next calendar year, including a work plan, which may be developed this calendar year. But it's important that we get participation and input from interested and informed members of the public. And so I, again, would encourage UCTC members to visit the webpage, mark on your calendars. All meetings are being held remotely at this point in time. And if you have items or issues of interest, please bring them to our attention. And if appropriate, we can address them through the Traffic Safety Board.
Thank you, Brian. So our next meeting is on the 22nd of February. Thank you for the policy committee. And I would basically ask anyone that has questions or concerns about the UPWP to give Brian a call or give myself a call. We'll try to help you through answer those questions or address those comments if you have them. And then before we go, does anybody have any comments or questions before we end the meeting? Well, this is a quiet group today, I have to tell you that.
Dennis, I apologize, Mike Baden. Is there any information on the additional infrastructure bill that came from the federal government separate from the ARPA funding?
No, and what we're the short answer is what we're seeing is that we're not sure how it's going to translate out into allocations that we can use in our TIP.
Okay.
There is also the governor's proposal has a significant amount of transportation investments in it as well. None of those are, to the best of what I can determine, none of those are focused in Ulster County. They're focused on regional transit or regional infrastructure improvements. From what I can see. One of the things that did happen here is that we did get additional planning fund allocations, but beyond that, we have not seen anything from NISDOT relative to that. NISDOT did indicate that they were going back because the federal funding has been held flat. The state has been investing more and more of state money in terms of its own projects. And they were going to go back and try to reestablish over time the normal relationship between state funding and the use of federal funding by the state and raising it above the 40% line. So that'll take some of the money away as well. But there's been I think an effort to make sure that while everyone is is extremely pleased to see the bill passed. There's been a sort of a management of expectations in terms of what that means on the ground in terms of projects.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, I see Herb had his hand raised.
Herb?
Yes. Thank you. I just attended the New York State County Highway Superintendents Association meeting. And the DOT budget analyst was there, and also the lobbyist for that organization. And they did say they were going to try to get an increase in the CHIP funding.
Yep.
With this new allocation of federal fundings, and they were going to try to push that along here pretty soon. So we may be seeing more money, as well as DOT said that the governor would like to infuse maybe some more bridge funding, maybe even this fiscal year.
Yeah, we've heard the similar things. It's sort of a state of good repair work, but I mean, I think some people were thinking that this was really transformative and that we'd have a larger application and take on more projects, et cetera. And what we're hearing is that yes, but there's other focuses here for this kind of money. That's my takeaway. It's not anybody else is saying that, but that's my takeaway on it. But you're right. The state of good repair funding should be available to us where it may not have been before.
The other thing to note is, they want to get more participation in Advocacy Day. I think it's like the 8th and 9th of March, and it's going to be virtual this year. So if we could get more of the towns and the county involved in speaking with our legislative people up in Albany and push this momentum, maybe we can get more CHIPS money. Maybe we can get some more emergency winter funding. Maybe we can get some more bridges and culverts money. So, the more people that participate, it shows the strength of the towns, the counties, and the villages and the cities. So if you can put that on your calendar and participate. It's virtual this year, so you don't have to drive to Albany. But if we can get a lot of people pushing that advocacy, we hopefully will go in the right direction.
Thanks, Herb. Anyone else?
I just wanted to say thank you for the presentation, Brian. It was great.
You're welcome. Thank you, Greg.
So hearing none, I wish everybody a mild winter going ahead, and we'll see you on the 22nd.
Take
Thank you.
care, everybody. Be safe,
Bye.
stay healthy.
Thanks.
Yep.